Did you know there's a half-dollar coin that could be sitting in your drawer right now, worth over $800,000? Yes, you heard that right. A single coin, no bigger than a poker chip, possibly tucked away in a forgotten box of keepsakes, could transform your life overnight. Not just into a few $100, or even a few thousand, but into hundreds of thousands, with some sales soaring into the millions. This isn't a lottery ticket. This isn't wishful thinking. This is the very real story of the 1972, no mint mark, Kennedy half-dollar. And if you've ever inherited coins, collected pocket change, or just saved some cool old money over the years, pay close attention, because time is ticking. The value of these rare coins is climbing, and every day you wait, someone else is cashing in. The Kennedy half-dollar was first minted in 1964 to honor the legacy of John F. Kennedy just months after his assassination. It became an immediate collector's item, a symbol of hope, a piece of history, and for some, a small slice of American pride. But something strange happened in 1972. Most of that year's Kennedy half-dollars were minted in either Denver or San Francisco, marked by the tiny D or S on the front side. But a small number slipped out with no mint mark at all. No D. No S. Nothing that at first glance, they looked like the others. But these were different. These were rare, and in the world of coin collecting, rarity is everything. Here's where it gets even more interesting. The 1972 no mint mark Kennedy half-dollar was struck in Philadelphia. But during that year, Philadelphia wasn't supposed to mint half-dollars for circulation. So when these coins emerged, it triggered a wave of curiosity and serious demand. Imagine this: you're thumbing through your old coin collection, flipping through half-dollars, and suddenly, there it is. A 1972 Kennedy half-dollar, but no mint mark. Your heart skips a beat. Could it be? Is this the one? Well, one lucky collector found exactly that, and in pristine condition. That single coin went on to sell for a jaw-dropping $817,000 at auction, and experts believe that even higher sales are on the horizon. In fact, some ultra-rare, error-graded coins, those with multiple anomalies or near-perfect preservation, are estimated to fetch millions. But before you run to dig through your sock drawer, let's break down what actually makes these coins so incredibly valuable. First, there's the missing mint mark, the holy grail of this specific coin. If your 1972 Kennedy half-dollar doesn't have a D or an S under Kennedy's neck, you're off to a great start. Second, condition matters. Grading agencies like PCGS or NGC rate coins on a 70-point scale. The closer your coin is to mint state 70, the more it's worth. A beat-up version might get you a few $100s. A flawless specimen? That's when you start talking 5, 6, even 7 figures, and then, there are errors, double strikes, off-center designs, and planchet anomalies. These factory mistakes are collector catnip. They don't lower the value, they explode it. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but how likely is it that I have one of these? Fair question. But let me ask you this: how many people thought they were sitting on worthless change, only to discover life-changing treasure? Thousands, and here's where the urgency kicks in. Coin collecting isn't just a quiet little hobby anymore. It's a booming multi-billion-dollar market. Wealthy investors, international buyers, and private collectors are snatching up rare coins faster than ever, because they understand something most people don't: rare coins are disappearing into private vaults, sometimes never to be seen again. If you wait too long to get yours appraised, graded, and listed, you might miss the window. And worse, you could end up selling to a pawn shop for $5, not realizing it was worth $500,000. Think about that. How many fortunes have already slipped through everyday hands? This is your chance to rewrite your financial story. No stock market risk. No crypto roller coaster. Just one coin, one discovery, and one smart move, but you have to know what to look for. The Kennedy half-dollar from 1972 should have a sharp, clear design. Check the area just beneath Kennedy's neck. If there's no mint mark at all, and your coin is in excellent condition, you may be holding something very special. Now, here's the twist: that there's a growing underground of counterfeiters pumping out fake 1972 no mint mark coins. Some are shockingly convincing. So before you list anything online or hand it off to a dealer, make sure it's authenticated by a professional grading service. If someone tells you they'll just take a look and make an offer without paperwork, walk away. And here's a little insider tip: collectors love original coin rolls, unsearched boxes, and estate finds. If you have more than one Kennedy half-dollar from the early 70s, don't sell them piecemeal. Get them appraised as a set. You might be sitting on a full collection worth far more than the sum of its parts. So, where do you go from here? First, grab a magnifying glass and start checking your 1972 half-dollars. Then, take clear photos and send them to a reputable grading company. If you don't know where to start, there are trusted services that handle everything, from valuation to certification to getting your coin into the right auction where high rollers are waiting to bid. And remember those cliffhangers I promised? Here's one. There are rumors circulating among collectors that an uncirculated, double die, no mint mark 1972 Kennedy half-dollar exists, and it could be worth over $2 million. No one's found it yet. Could it be buried in your childhood coin jar? You'll never know unless you look. So start digging. Your new life might be hiding in plain sight. Have you ever walked past a jar of old coins, maybe tucked away in a dusty drawer or rattling around in your car's cup holder, and thought nothing of it? What if I told you one of those forgotten pieces of metal might be worth over $800,000 today, and could even touch the $1 million mark? It sounds unbelievable. But this is real. This is the astonishing story of the 1989 Kennedy half-dollar with the elusive P mint mark, a coin most people don't give a second glance, now making headlines in collector circles, changing lives, and rewriting what we thought we knew about modern American coinage. Before we dive into what makes this particular half-dollar so extraordinary, here's something to consider. Wealth doesn't always come from Wall Street or real estate. Sometimes, it jingles quietly in your pocket. Now, let's rewind to 1989. George H.W. Bush had just taken office. The Berlin Wall was still standing, barely. And deep within the Philadelphia Mint, an ordinary coin was struck. Or at least, that's what everyone thought. The 1989 Kennedy half-dollar was part of a series long considered standard, even mundane. Millions were minted, most used in circulation, many forgotten. But among them, just a handful emerged with unusual traits that would eventually spark the interest of numismatists worldwide. Let's talk specifics. The standard 1989 Kennedy half-dollar from the Philadelphia Mint carries a P mint mark. It should be worth about 50 cents to a few bucks at most, depending on condition. But in rare cases, there are anomalies, errors, misstrikes, or incredibly well-preserved specimens that transform an everyday coin into a collector's treasure, and that's where the magic happens. One such specimen, in pristine condition, with uncirculated, mirror-like surfaces and perfect detailing, recently shocked experts when it sold for a staggering $814,000. Why? A combination of factors: a rare double die obverse, exceptional preservation, and impeccable minting, all converging in a single coin. Imagine holding one of these in your hand. It looks like any other coin from the late 80s. But tilt it under the light, and you see subtle doubling in the inscriptions, like a shadow echoing the past. It's like history itself is whispering through the metal. And here's where fear kicks in: how many of these ultra-rare coins have passed through hands, unrecognized? Dropped into vending machines? Buried in childhood coin jars never to be seen again? The thought sends chills down the spine of any serious collector. You might be wondering, how does a coin go from pocket change to an $814,000 payday? It all comes down to rarity, condition, and demand. Collectors will pay a premium for a coin that represents perfection or a historic anomaly. And with aging baby boomers passing down collections, demand has surged. Combine that with inflation-era investment strategies moving into tangible assets like coins, and suddenly, your childhood stash becomes a potential goldmine. The clock is ticking. Every year, more of these coins are lost, spent, or damaged beyond recognition. The window to find one, maybe even in your own home, is shrinking fast. And if you're thinking, well, I don't know the first thing about coins. Good news. You don't need to be an expert to get started. All you need is curiosity. and maybe a magnifying glass. Start by checking every 1989 Kennedy half-dollar you come across. Look closely at the mint mark. Is it sharp? Is there doubling on the "In God We Trust" or "Liberty"? Hold it under bright light. Do you see any strange textures or raised ridges? Even a minor error can mean major dollars, and here's a little twist. Some of the most valuable coins aren't necessarily the oldest. People often search for pre-1964 silver coins, and they're not wrong, but modern rarities like the 1989 P. Kennedy half-dollar are proving just how unpredictable and lucrative coin hunting can be. Still think coin collecting is just for hobbyists? Think again. High-net-worth individuals are investing in rare coins the way others invest in art, wine, or vintage cars. Why? Because the market is booming. Auction prices are shattering records, and the demand for US coins in particular is surging globally. So here's the big question: could you be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it? That loose change drawer in your kitchen? That box of old coins your grandfather gave you? It's time to look closely. You could be holding the very next 6 or 7-figure Kennedy half-dollar. Don't wait until the market cools down or until another collector finds it first. This is your moment. Think about it. How many people do you know who've thrown away coins because they weren't worth anything? How many fortunes have gone unnoticed, slipped through the cracks? Literally, it only takes one coin to change your financial future. One discovery to turn your story into the next headline. One Kennedy half-dollar, quietly waiting for someone sharp enough to recognize its value. Now, before we reveal the rare traits of the most valuable 1989 P. Kennedy half-dollar ever sold, and what made it worth over $800,000, stick with us just a little longer, because if you've got even a single coin from 1989 in your collection, what I'm about to share could mean the difference between tossing it and retiring early. Stay with me. The real secrets are just seconds away. Did you know a simple coin tucked away in an old jar or drawer could be worth over $800,000 right now? Imagine finding that out just as you're about to use it at a vending machine for a bottle of soda. That's not a myth, it's the reality of one very specific coin, the 1992 D. Kennedy half-dollar. A coin so rare, so sought after, that a verified example recently rocked the numismatic world with a staggering market value of $811,000. And for some collectors and lucky owners, it may go for even more. Let that sink in. One coin. Nearly $1 million. Now before you sprint to your coin stash, let's take a deep breath, because what makes this coin so valuable isn't just its year or mint mark. It's a very specific combination of historical significance, production quirks, and collector demand. And most importantly, it's the window of opportunity it opens for people like you. People who may be sitting on forgotten fortunes without even realizing it. So what exactly makes the 1992 D. Kennedy half-dollar such a hidden gem? To understand that, we have to go back to the early 90s, when the US Mint was experimenting with proof coin production. In 1992, two types of Kennedy half-dollars were minted: regular business strikes and special proof strikes. The proofs were made using polished dies and specially treated blanks, intended for collectors. They were never meant to circulate. But, here comes the twist: some 1992 coins with the Denver mint mark, that's the D you see under Kennedy's neck, were struck using proof dies. That, my friend, is what's known as a transitional error, a very rare and valuable mistake, and this is where the story takes a jaw-dropping turn. Because only a handful of these proof die business strikes are known to exist. They look like regular coins, until you examine the details. The sharpness of the lettering, the frosty design with mirrored fields, the crispness of Kennedy's profile, it all screams proof, but they weren't supposed to be made that way. Now, here's the part that gives even seasoned collectors goosebumps. One of these rare 1992 D. Kennedy half-dollars sold for $811,000 at auction. Just imagine what you could do with that kind of unexpected windfall. Pay off the mortgage. Retire early. Travel the world. Or just breathe easier knowing you've built a legacy for your family. But how do you know if you have one? Great question, and here's where you'll want to pay close attention. First, locate any Kennedy half-dollars you might have from 1992. Flip them over and look just beneath Kennedy's neck for the mint mark. If you see a D, set that coin aside. Next, examine the overall appearance. Does it have a mirror-like finish? Are the edges unusually sharp? Does Kennedy's hairline look unusually detailed? These are all signs of a proof die strike. Still not sure? Take it to a professional coin grader, preferably one recognized by the American Numismatic Association. A legitimate grading service can tell you definitively whether you're holding a life-changing coin or just a 50-cent piece with attitude. Of course, you might be thinking, okay, but what are the odds I actually have one? Fair enough. The odds are slim, but not impossible. Think about this: rare coins don't always surface in museums or luxury collections. Many times, they show up in estate sales, old jars in the garage, inherited boxes from grandparents, even pocket change. If no one ever thought to check, they could have been hiding in plain sight for decades. And here's a little known fact: the number of known 1992 D-proof die strikes is so small, it's likely there are still some out there that haven't been discovered. In fact, experts believe fewer than a dozen have ever been authenticated. That's fewer than most high-end luxury watches or rare sports cars. Yet this coin could be worth far more. Think about how many people threw these away, unaware of their value. How many coins were passed along, unnoticed, because someone assumed they were just pocket change? How many opportunities to change a life were dropped into vending machines, laundromats, or donation jars, but now, you know. And knowledge, especially when it comes to collectibles, is power. Of course, there's more. Because this coin is just the tip of the iceberg. Other rare errors, double dies, and off-metal strikes from the 90s are fetching astonishing prices right now. The entire coin market is experiencing a resurgence, especially among collectors aged 30 to 65 who are turning to rare coins as tangible assets in uncertain times. So here's the real question: what else are you missing? Is there a fortune sitting quietly in your closet or drawer right now, just waiting for a trained eye to uncover it? Maybe it's not just about the coin. Maybe it's about the mindset, about being open to hidden opportunities and overlooked treasures. About paying attention to the details that others ignore. About believing that wealth isn't always earned, it's sometimes found. And yes, this is your moment. Because even if you don't have the 1992 D-proof die $50, you now know what to look for. You're already ahead of millions who will never take the time to check. But wait, before you rush off to dig through your coin jars, there's something else you need to know. A different Kennedy $50, even rarer than the 1992 D, has recently surfaced, and it might just redefine everything we thought we knew about modern coin collecting. That story is coming next. Make sure you're subscribed. Because the next discovery, it might be yours.